Hello, my name is Mark Jeffrey and you are listening to episode 3 of the Mark Jeffrey podcast show, brought to you by MPC Solutions. Thank you for joining me on what is now episode 3 of the Mark Jeffrey podcast show, recorded February the 22nd, 2017, from the studio on the hill in the beautiful, picturesque county of Cornwall. A podcast of my life through a lens aimed to possibly make you feel that your life is somewhat normal. Coming up on this episode, we'll be discussing why music formats such as vinyl and cassette have made a huge comeback on sales. We also have music from J-Damm and music from tonight's unsigned artist, Chay Snowdon. Well, OMG. Now, pardon the pun. I hate it when people say that. Oh, my God. Now, OMG. What an interesting week I've had. I am absolutely buzzing at the moment. Really, really am. Started off the weekend, I went down to Truro to visit Nikki's gran, who's currently, bless her cotton socks, not feeling very well. She's in an old people's home, having some attention. We can't call it an old people's home anymore, can we? It's a care home, isn't it? So we went down and seen her, spent a couple of hours down there with her, and on the way home, Nikki is driving at the moment because of my foot, as you may be aware. I'm not driving at the moment because I'm a poorly foot. And I left her, Nikki, to do the driving home. Now, bearing in mind, Truro is about an hour away from our house. And it's not very, very far at all to travel, unless you're Nikki, bless her. She'd never make a good sat-nav, bless her. I fell asleep in the car, so it's partially my fault, I must admit, for falling asleep, I suppose. I fell asleep to be woken up about 20 minutes later by, I've gone the wrong way, I've gone the wrong way. So in the end, we had to do a detour down country lanes. Now, Nikki isn't the best driver in the world for country lanes. He hasn't mastered the art of using the mirrors to reverse. And I must admit, I know where she's coming from, and probably a lot of you guys at home can relate to this, that it's not that easy driving around the lanes here in Cornwall, especially the lanes with grass in the middle of the road. If you don't know how to use those mirrors, it can be an absolute nightmare. So we did get lost. It did take us twice as long to get home, but it was a very nice weekend, and it was a start to an absolute cracking week. It's been a very positive week for me. It's been the start of 2017 that I wanted to happen. It's been the kickstart to 2017. Starting off today, I went to see my foot consultant. All you guys may be aware, if you listen to my radio show, The Monday Night Jukebox, on a Monday night, 8 o'clock till 10 p.m. on www.ncbradio.co.uk. A little bit of a plug there. You may be aware that I had a foot injury, which I needed some surgery on before Christmas. I had some cartilage removed, and I've been off work for the last 2 months. Well, I went and seen my consultant today, and absolutely buzzing. He's told me, and now I never thought I'd ever say this, but he's told me, Mark, you are now fit to go back to work, and also you are fit to drive. I'm able to drive my car once again. And I'll tell you what, that so much of a buzz. And it's going to be a bit of a weird one, really, because I haven't driven my car now for 10 weeks. So it's going to be like starting all over again. I mean, I've been driving now for 19, 20 years, and I've never gone 10 weeks without driving my car. So there you are. So 2017 can officially start today. I mean, I started off doing my podcast. This is the 3rd week now, and it's been going really, really well. Progress. I'm really, really impressed with how well I've done. I'm really chuffed with myself. Lots of you people have been following me, and I've had some real positive comments come back to me. And like I say, I can now get 2017 officially started today. I should be able to go out and start my life again. Get out there and see my friends. I've got lots of plans for 2017. Get this podcast sorted out. Getting fit. I'll be able to start going to the gym and getting rid of my belly. But most importantly, going out and doing a lot more things with my family and seeing a lot more with my friends. I've neglected my friends. So just a bit of a pre-warning to all of my friends that I haven't seen for a while. You may get a rat-a-tat-tat at the door very, very soon. And another thing that I've got as well is just before Christmas, Nikki bought me a very unusual Christmas present. Now, we have a radio station close to us called Plymouth FM, I do believe. I remember it in the old days when it used to be called Plymouth Sound, but it's been since bought out and it's now called Plymouth FM. And she bought me a tour of the studio. And here's the next best bit, a chance afterwards to do the weather forecast. Now, when Nikki first told me this, I was absolutely buzzing because I'm a bit of a geek and I love my cables and my technology, my microphones and all that sort of stuff. I love doing research about that sort of stuff. So it'd be nice to go into the studio and check out a proper quality professional studio. And I do my radio show, but one thing that quite scares me is actually having to do the weather. Now, reading the weather as a radio presenter is a very, very weird thing because I can stand here and I can sit here and I can hop on one leg and do a radio show for hours on end playing music. But to actually sit there in a studio and talk about the weather, something that I haven't got a clue about, precipitation and all that, meteorology, all that sort of stuff, kind of scares me. You know, I don't want to be going telling people that it's going to tip down with rain and it's going to be beautiful sunshine when actually it's completely the opposite. I don't want to do a false weather forecast. But hopefully I get my words out properly. What happens if I screw up? People will never take me serious again. But I'm sure things are going to be really, really, really cool on that end. And I'm actually quite looking forward to getting down to their studios and checking it out. So guys, stay tuned. And listen out for me on Plymouth FM, I think it's called. I will be very, very soon the new weatherman, just for the day, that is. So it's quite exciting, quite exciting. Do something each day that scares you. My tip of the day. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. Also, today, absolutely buzzing today. A lot of stuff's happened today. I've had the insurance guy out about the roof. And he's turned us down, so we're going to have to spend some money and get the roof fixed. But also, I had a visitor from somebody that I haven't seen for about 10 years. Now, I didn't realise that it was 10 years since I'd seen him until I actually met him and we had a bit of a chat. But last time I seen him, we got totally trashed down the pub. And I think we need to do it again. I spent about an hour and a half with him, Tristan, and his beautiful wife, Sam, today. And we had a right good catch-up. Sam's in the process of setting up or talking to Tristan about setting up our online business involving music. We didn't go into too much depths about it because we didn't really have the time. But she's on about setting up something to do with music on the internet. She's a singer and she goes and does wedding singing and stuff like that. And she's got a YouTube channel. Now, apologies, because I can't tell you what it is, what her channel's called, but I will do my best to let you guys know in the very near future, and you can check her out, because I'm sure she's absolutely amazing. Very interesting young lady, but we do have to meet up again and have a proper good chat, because she came to me and she said, Mark, I'm interested to know a little bit about you, your radio station and your podcasting. And she was actually firing questions at me, which is really, really weird, because I've only been in this business for 3 years and I'm still learning. Every day is an adventure for me regarding radio and podcasting. You know, like I said, this is episode 3 and I'm learning every single day. And for somebody to actually come to me and say, Mark, can you tell me about this? What do you think about that? And what advice can you give about this? It was really quite daunting. You know, and after she left, I was absolutely buzzing because I had helped somebody out today. I can't guarantee that everything I've told her was sound advice, but I gave her the best advice that I could today. And do you know what? It actually felt really, really good. So thank you very much for coming around, Sam and Tristan. We will have to do it again soon. And I hope that you coming round this afternoon and having a chat to me, I hope that a little bit of what I said made sense. And I hope that you can take what I said to you, take it home with you, and I hope that you can digest it, shall we say, how you want to. And I hope that it was a little bit of an influence. And for you people at home that are listening, that are possibly thinking about getting into podcasting or possibly thinking about getting into radio presenting, a little bit of advice for you now. And it is called Facebook Live. Now, what I'm going to say to you to do tonight after you finish listening to this podcast, is go onto your Facebook Live page and just turn your Facebook Live on and just talk to the people on your friends list. Chat to them for 5 minutes and have a little chat and see how you feel from talking to people. And if you enjoy it, you've just done a podcast. And then if you want to know a little bit more about podcasting, what equipment you may need, how you set up a podcast, what host is best to use, get in contact with me, jaff10@hotmail.com. Check out my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. Leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and I will do the best I can to help you set up a podcast or indeed a radio show, perhaps NCB radio. And we will do our very, very best to help you out. Anyway, somebody that I'd like to bring up now is this week's unsigned artist. 3 years ago, like I said, I was at a station called Eat Music in Plymouth, and I'd done a show at Eat Music called Remember in the 90s, like I said in episode 1. Check it out. And it was exactly what it says on the tin. It was a radio show that I put together on a Tuesday night for 2 hours, and I would bring into the studio local artists from around Devon and Cornwall. We'd have a little bit of a chat in the studio, and then I'd get them to do a cover of a 90s act. And then after they've done the cover, we've had a little bit of a plat and a Chay, had a little bit of a chat and a play. We'd then get them to do a bit of their own original music. And we got Chay in the studio, and he came in with his mum at the time because he's quite a young lad. And he came in the studio, and you could tell he was a little bit nervous, but I had a little bit of a chat to him. And then after we got rid of the nerves, I got him to perform. And he was absolutely outstanding. He's a good-looking chap, the girl. You can tell he's a fan. He's got a lot of fans, which are female. And you when you hear these people, you know straight away that they're going to do something in their life. And I've got every confidence that Chay will succeed in what he does. And best of luck to Chay. He's an absolute top guy. And I just want to take this time to play his song for you. I'm going to play for you in a second. But before I do, I asked Chay to tell you what he is all about. And he just said what I want you to do, Mark, is give a quote from Roland Monger. Tell your listeners how Roland described Chay and his band. Well, that's all and good, Chay, but I haven't got a clue who Roland Monger is. So I had to get on the old Google and find out who he is. Well, Roland is a strategic I can't say it. Easy for me to say. He's a strategic admissions manager at Plymouth University, but also he is a music blogger. So that's along the lines of why where he got wanted to talk about Chay. Struggling with my words now. Forgive me. So there we have it. And he said, I compare Chay to Jake Bugg's angrier little brother, fronting a super group made up of members of Catfish and the Bottlemen, Arctic Monkeys, and the Queens of the Stone Age. If you can imagine that, you're getting somewhere close to Chay and his band. What a lovely little quote there. And that was by Roland Monger. Like I said, he is a strategic I can't even say it. He's a chap at Plymouth University, and he's a musical blogger. So I'm going to play the song now by Chay. Check it out. Hope you enjoy it. And feel free to come back with a comment and tell me exactly what you think.
famous.
So what did you think about that then? That was tonight's unsigned artist. He is Chay Snowdon, and that song is called Famous. And if you fancy checking out a little bit more about Chay, you can catch him on his Facebook page, which is Chay Snowdon Music. And you can also find the music that I've just played and lots more at Spotify. I haven't checked iTunes and all the other medias, but I do know that he's on Spotify. So get in contact with him and find out a little bit more about him. He is an absolutely fantastic chap. In the meantime, he did leave me with this one thought, and he asked me a question that he wanted me to ask you guys at home. And the question was, Mark, what do you think has caused the resurgence in vinyl, and do you think it's a passing trend? Well, Chay, it's an interesting one, that one, isn't it? Why all of a sudden, after all of these years, has vinyl all of a sudden become popular again? Now, it's an interesting one because I've got a lot of vinyl in the garage that I used to play years and years ago, and I used to do a little bit of mixing in the bedroom with my decks, and it's been there ever since. And I've got a lot of other albums in the garage that I honestly was going to send away to car boot sales, but now vinyl is coming back. I've kept it there, and one day when I build my brand new spandangly new studio down in the garage, I am going to treat myself and get a set of decks, and I am going to start listening to it again. But why? I mean, why do we do it, guys? We've all got MP3 players now. We've got CD players. We've got MP4s that we can listen to now. We've got all this new media of music, which personally, my own personal opinion, it's easier to listen to. You haven't got to store it. Surely it's got to be more likable, surely, isn't it? Well, that's what I think. I mean, and all these people say that they think that vinyl sounds better. In my opinion, I don't think it does. I think putting my cans on, turning on Spotify, iTunes, having it easy to hand in front of you, having it in digital quality, I personally think it sounds better. So saying that, why have I kept my vinyl? Why have Why has my dad kept his vinyl from back in the day? Why has all of these people, why is there shops in every city selling vinyl? It's an interesting one, Chay, and I'm glad you've got in contact with me and asked me this one. And I'd like my listeners, you guys at home, to send me an email and contact me and tell me why you listen to vinyl. Now, it's not just vinyl. I read in a newspaper article that cassettes last year, the sales of cassettes went up by 75%. And I know my co-presenter, Liam Cloak, who does the show with me on a Monday night, he's buying cassettes left, right and centre at the moment. And in all fairness, the audio quality is rubbish. I mean, isn't that the reason why CDs came about? To improve. Now, for the reason why I've kept vinyl, the reason why I can understand why you guys at home collect vinyl is, yes, it does sound more raw. You know, it sounds more original. You get the crisp, you get the crackling noise. Does that make it better? And for me personally, it doesn't. But what I like about when I buy albums is I like the artwork that comes with it. And the reason why I think you guys at home are going back old school is because you've got you pay, £14 for a vinyl, and you've got a nice big chunk of it in front of you. You've got a big chunk of plastic, you've got it in a nice sleeve, it's all the information's there. It's a big piece of art, isn't it? Rather than MP3s, no artwork at all. Now, that would be the reason why I would buy albums. But like I said before, I think on the practical terms, me as a radio presenter, can you imagine the amount of storage that I would need if I was to go back old school, people like Terry Wogan and actually have to play vinyl on every one of my shows? So for me, it's a rare treat to play vinyl, but I enjoy listening to CDs and MP3s, and for me it's easier. But one thing I have treated myself to, being a 90s lad, is the other day I bought a mini disc player. Well, I didn't buy it. My brother, he's moved up to Sunderland and he's left me his old mini disc player. So I thought ideal, I'll get on eBay and all these companies and get I'll get some mini discs. Easier said than done, Jaff. Easier said than done. I could not find them anywhere. And the ones that I could find, they were asking ridiculous prices for. Bittersweet Symphony, The Verve. In my opinion, one of the best albums of all time. £99 second hand. Now, the reason for this is because when they decided to expand from CDs into mini discs was actually an amazing thing. It was a new revolution, but sadly it came too late. MP3s took its place, and because these mini discs were only around for a short amount of time, there was very, very little of them made, and that's the thing, you know. Whereas with vinyl, there was vast amounts of it made. Mini discs, there was very, very small amount made, and there's a niche for it now. And they will be a collector's item in the near future. You mark this space. You watch this space, sorry. So yeah, I mean, I did have a look on the internet, and a couple of people said the reason why they thought that albums was coming back in was because of the hipsters. The hipsters have brought them back. They're bringing back all retro stuff. They're bringing back Spectrum computers. They're bringing back Commodore computers. They are bringing back beards. They are bringing back all stuff. Well, yes, it is true, but I think there is more to that than meets the eye. I think you can't beat quality, and for some reason, vinyl is quality. Get in contact with me next week, guys. Tell me, give me some input. Why? That's fine. And believe it or not, I did read that you can also, when you die now, you can also have your ashes crushed into vinyl. So you can have your favourite album, right, with your most loved one inside it somehow. That is a freaky thought, isn't it? But there we go, guys. Anyway, I've got one last special treat for you now before I shut up shop for this week's podcast. And it's from an old acquaintance of mine over in Callington in Cornwall. His name is DJ J-Damm, and he is a DJ, producer and lover of drum and bass and all sorts of drum and bass. But as a DJ, he plays Liquid Neuro. Life started for J-Damm in dark, dingy clubs, the sort of clubs that you don't tell your mother about. Intimate and full of life, as he puts it. J-Damm has played clubs in Bristol, London, Colchester, Plymouth, all over the UK basically. Venues like Mangoes, Lakota, Dance Academy, Bassbox, White Rabbit and the Voodoo Lounge. Things like that. He has worked with legends, he has worked with Legend Records, playing whites like Champion Sound. He has worked with Keith and Liam from The Prodigy, giving Liam his first sets beside Ray Keith, Alter Ego Scoop, and many more. And in recent years, he has played at Inspiration, Unleashed, Reassemble, Kit Hill Festival, and The Perfect Pitch, and Bassology. J-Damm runs his own nights all over Cornwall, from Camborne to Falmouth, Callington to Hale, Oblivion at Box Hale. J-Damm tunes get played all over the world with labels like West World Recordings, South London Recordings, Infractive Digital, Tokyo Women's Records, Break Drum Records. So look into him. He has some great tunes coming out very, very soon. So I'm going to play you a little snip now. And my apologies go out to J-Damm. He gave me a link to download. And I had about 1 minute 34, 1 minute 45 seconds, something like that, to play before I had to download the rest. Now, this evening, my internet has gone down here in the studio, and I had to get my show out tonight. So unfortunately, I've had to just play the 1 minute 45. So I'm going to put it out as a little bit of a feeler for you guys now. I'm going to play it now. Tell me what you think. Get in contact with me if you like it. And if you do like it, I will give you the link to how you can get hold of it and buy it, etc. And when I get him on the show in possibly a few weeks' time, we'll have a little bit more of a chat to him, and I will play more of his stuff then. So here it is. Here is DJ J-Damm. So there you go, guys. I know it's a little bit short and sweet, and I do apologise. Only 1 minute 33 of that. But if you do fancy that track and you would like to buy it, it is on Westwood Recordings, and you can check them out on vinyl-distribution.co.uk. And that was by J-Damm. The song is Into the Blue, and I promise you very, very soon I will have him in the studio, and we will have a little bit of a chat to him and about his magical mystery tour of his life, and we will play some more of his stuff. So I look very, very forward to that. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the show. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, letting me pollute your ears for another half an hour. My name is Mark Jeffrey, and you have been listening to the Mark Jeffrey Podcast Show. Check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on iTunes, Libsynth, and lots of other medias. My name is Mark Jeffrey. You are listening to the Mark Jeffrey Podcast Show. And remember, your life may not be as strange as you think.